Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Lexi. If you're new, then hey. If you're existing, then hey. Welcome to my channel. So today's video will be a Working Wednesday video. When I tell y'all I haven't done a Working Wednesday video in a year, it's been a year since I quit State Farm. And this one is about working at Carmax. I worked there for a year. I'm going to give you all my pros, my cons, why I quit, how I got the job, the interview process. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. And yeah, and also if you haven't checked out my other Working Wednesday videos, I have a lot of them. I worked at a lot of jobs. I will put the playlist down below. It has Target, Starbucks, State Farm, just a lot of companies. So yeah, just stay tuned.
Sleeping on your level cause it's beauty in the struggle, nigga. Beauty goes for all y'all.
Video is about working at Carmax. I worked there for 1 year and like a year and 2 months. And I got the job because my niece's friend worked there in collections. And I normally, when people, like you ask people where do they work, I normally keep a task on it just in case I might want to apply. So we were talking about where we work and all this, and he said he worked at Carmax. And I didn't know that they had a like facility here, like a corporate office kind of here. And he worked at the one, the corporate office is in Kennesaw. So he worked at that one. He was in collections. So when I quit my job at State Farm, I was like, I need to find a job. And I had remembered that he worked at Carmax, so I applied. Now when I applied for the position was called centralized store support or something. And now it's called cross-functional. But if you go on the website, it's called Internet Sales Consultant. So that's the name of the job. So they'll probably change the name as the years go by because the name has changed probably like 3 times since I've been there within that 1 year. Probably like 2 or 3 times. But basically the job is you are on the phone. You work in a call center environment. What you do is you answer the phone for smaller stores. So Carmax opens these smaller stores like in places like country places and smaller locations. So it's like really country towns. And you answer the phones for those stores because those stores are smaller. But they are getting a lot of calls coming in as well. They don't have a lot of employees. So you answer the phone. You help the customer find the car that they need. You find a car within their budget. You can run a finance application for that customer. You can give them their finance decisions over the phone. And then they just have to go into the store to close the deal. So that's basically what you do. You also take service calls. So you set service appointments. You also transfer calls over to the store when need be. You transfer calls over to your colleagues. It's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. So that's basically the gist of the job. You're a sales consultant over the phone. You can do anything but close the deal. So I just want y'all to know that. So you'll be like, so you won't be watching this like, is this the job I applied for? This is only in the Kennesaw location at this time. This is, whenever you're watching this is 2017. So I don't know, because a lot of people watch my videos and they're like, I get paid $10 now. But the gist of it is, yeah, it's in Kennesaw. It's at Carmax Auto Finance. That's the name of where I worked. I didn't work in the actual dealership. So this opinion of the job is based off of that position. I did not work with Carmax previously. I did not, you know, work for them or work other positions. That was the only position that I worked. If you're a sales consultant in the store, it's kind of different. I do know people that love being a sales consultant in the store, but the sales consultants in the store they work on just commission. So this is just for this one position. So I told you how I got the job. I applied to the job. And then they gave me a call. When they gave me a call, they like, you speak to one person. You speak to the recruiter first. I don't think it's like a recruiter actually though. It's like someone that works for Carmax. And I don't know if it's a recruiter or not. And they just ask you questions like about what you put on your application. So where you used to work previously. Why do you want to work for Carmax? They ask you like little simple questions. Like customer service based questions to an extent, kind of. Probably like 1 or 2. And you just talk about your experiences and you kind of sell yourself. When I did that over the phone, I feel like I was kind of blabbering because he called like last minute. I talked to him and so I don't even think he asked. I think he did ask, this is a good time to talk. I was just so anxious. I'm like, yeah. And I was just blabbering and blabbering and blabbering. And he was like, okay, I'm going to move you on to the next round to go into the actual location and interview with someone. And he gave me tips about what I should say. Like, they're going to be looking for somebody that's doing this, and that. And I really did like that. Because, you know, sometimes you will speak to someone, like the first person that you'll talk to from a company, and they'll just be like, okay, I'm going to move you on to the next round, but they don't really say like what they're looking for exactly. And he did explain to me what they were looking for, so I did really like that about the company. I ended up going, after I spoke with him, I ended up going to the Kennesaw location and I interviewed. So when you first go in, you have to fill out like some paperwork online, and then you wait in this little room, and then one of the supervisors from the actual sales consultant position comes down and interviews you. And then after you interview with them, the department manager comes down. His name is Steven. And he comes down and he interviews with you. And then from there they decide whether, and then you have to do a mock phone call just to see how you'll be on the phone and to see if you can like adapt to certain things and you take criticism well. Because they don't expect you to do like perfect because you don't really know. But if you've been in the sales environment before, you kind of know sales to an extent. So that's kind of what they expect. And then they like talk to you about the call and what you could have did better, what you did good and all this. And then they let you know if you got the job or not. I was offered the position. It felt like I was at this interview for like 3 hours, y'all. I was there for a long time because you just sit in the room and then they have to let you know whether or not you got the position or you didn't get it. So it was like 3 hours. Then they told me I got the position. I was so happy, like, oh, thank you. And they take you upstairs to look around and all this. And when we went to go look around, like the department manager is the one that took me. And people were like, when we got to like certain people's areas, they were like, their vibe was like off. I could tell they didn't really like him like that, but I didn't really pay attention to it. But now I kind of know why. So after that, they ask you when you are available to start. So they don't just give you a start date. So I told him I'm available on Monday, and I ended up starting that Monday. So that's how that went. And yeah, the interview questions were kind of like customer service questions, sales questions, a lot of sales. They want to make sure that you actually can sell. I sold insurance before, so I wasn't the best salesperson, but as long as you are customer focused, it should work in your favor. All right, so I'm going to give you all my pros and my cons now. So the pros will have to be that Carmax does work with you when it comes to certain things. Like I had really stopped doing my job completely. I'm not even gonna lie, because my morale was low and I was just tired of being there. It took them like 3 months for them to put me on a plan for me to get better at my actual job. So they will work with you even if you are doing horribly at the job. If you're struggling throughout the job, they will work with you. They don't care if you have things in your past. Like, you know how some jobs will hold things against you. Like, oh, you had a problem with being late. Oh, you got wrote up for this. They don't really hold that against you when it comes to you moving up within that department. Now, I can't say about going outside of that department. So I think that is a pro about the job in general. They don't really care about your past or how you were acting. They care about how you are going to change the way that you are working and change just in general. So that's a good thing. So that's the only pro that I have. So let's get into the cons. Also, I want to say that, okay, Carmax Auto Finance and my department are two different things. So Carmax Auto Finance, a lot of people, it's like collections, customer service, and stuff like that. So I think it's like title. It's a lot of different stuff that's in the building because it is the auto finance department. But the thing is, my department wasn't a part of Carmax Auto Finance, and they made sure to let us know that, like, you're not a part of Carmax Auto Finance. Like, Carmax would have certain events, and we couldn't really get off the phone, so we could only go down for like an hour or hour and a half. But I'll get more into that. But this is just for my department. We are considered the sales department, and we are separate from CAF, which is Carmax Auto Finance. So we're an entity in its own, and we're a part of the store kind of, but we're not in the store because they didn't have anywhere to put us. So we're in Carmax Auto Finance. It's another thing. It's like growing pains, I guess. All right, first things first. Systems are horrible. When I tell you these systems are absolutely horrible, it's like AOL dial-up horrible. Y'all, I will cap y'all not. Like, I got there, compared to working at State Farm, I was like, what the heck is this? What is this? Like, why are these systems like this, first off? It takes you forever to do an application. The system freezes on you. It is horrible. It's horrible. I don't even know how people were in there actually doing applications that have been working there that long. And when I first got there, I had to get used to it. I used to just like shaking my chair like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It used to give me the worst anxiety because the systems were so bad. And then you're on the phone with the customer and it's like dead air because there's really nothing to talk about after you like ask them what's their name and all this and all that. It's like, okay, now you have to drag this call out. What I could have done at State Farm in like 10 minutes, it takes me like an hour to do at Carmax. Literally. It was so annoying. And they didn't have an ETA when the systems were going to be better. They didn't know, but it was just annoying. And I feel like it was one of those things where I know y'all have enough money in order to get new systems, so why don't y'all do it? Y'all just want to be cheap and do the bare minimum just so like, okay, y'all can do y'all job. That's cool. You know, it was like horrible, y'all. Horrible. I would never want to work in an environment again that had systems like that. The next thing would be micromanaging. So I felt like our department manager was too involved. If you've ever worked, I worked in one other call center environment, and I just feel like he was just too involved. Like he would walk around the floor, stare at us, do all this extra, and it was like that's the supervisor's job. When I worked at State Farm, you barely saw the department manager, and when you did, she was bringing us like food, checking on us, or you see her in a meeting because she had stuff to do. She was out and about, she was in meetings, she was out of town. This department manager, he was like a supervisor. Like he would come in, as soon as he come in, the vibe just changes in the whole place. People get so irritated. He like walks up to your desk and like just stares at you. This is him right here. This is how he would walk up to your desk. Like just with his arms folded and just literally stare like he's trying to intimidate you. Mind you, we had like boards up where you can see if it's calls on hold. It wouldn't be any calls on hold. So if you're standing up talking, laughing with your coworker and it's nothing to do, I don't think it's an issue with that, but he would see a problem with that, and he would come out his office and just walk around and walk up on you and just stare, literally just stare like he's trying to intimidate you. He wouldn't say anything. It got to the point where I would just be like, oh my God, are you serious? And then eventually he would stop coming to my desk, but then he'll try to like stay around my desk and talk to different people and just act like he's talking to them but really trying to see what I'm doing. Like, he was annoying. If you do apply for this position, he was annoying as hell, y'all. He was annoying. Y'all see this damn picture. Like, that's exactly how he used to be like. And a lot of people wouldn't say anything about it, but they didn't like it, and they felt very uncomfortable about it. But you know, in any job situation, a lot of people not gonna say nothing about how they feel. They just not gonna say nothing. Okay, so in this position, I started off getting paid $13.80. I then eventually, when it got time to get our review, I got $14.80. It was people that had been there like 6 years, and I was making way more money than them. Like I was making $14.80. And people were making way less than me, like $13 still. Some of my good friends would like say like, oh, I still make like $13. This is some bull crap. And I could never say like, girl, I make $14. How do you make $13? But in the meantime, they were still bringing in people making $15 an hour when we were still making like $14.80, $13. It would just vary. So, and a lot of the people that have been there for a long time knew like, they bring people in making $15, $16 an hour, y'all. Literally, $16 an hour. I was just like, it wasn't no good. It was not good. And I don't like stuff like that because I feel like everybody should be treated fairly. If you know me, you know I do not like to see people treated unfairly. And a lot of people are not going to stand up, but as a company, I feel like you should do what's right. When I was at State Farm and they gave us all a pay raise, we all got a pay raise. We all was making $17. It wasn't like, oh, we was all making, some people making 12, some people making 13, some people making 14. It's just sneaky as hell, and I do not like it at all. Okay, so you know how I explained to you all that we had CAF, which was Carmax Auto Finance, which was its own entity, and then my department was its own entity. So we would have like spring fling events where you go downstairs, they have hot dogs, popcorn, chips, drinks, and all this. All the other departments would close down, like they would shut down completely, and they'll be out there the whole 4 hours. We had to go on a rotation, so it was like we'd be out there for 1 hour or 1 hour at the most. They also have an event where they do like where they dress up. I forget what it's called, but it's like a gala kind of. and the last year was last year for us to do it. Or I think the beginning of this year, they're like, we're not gonna be able to do it anymore because we need people to be on the phone. So our department acted like it could never close down, and a lot of people would get upset about it. Like, we used to go to the events, we used to do this and that, but now we can't because we have calls, we have this and that. So a lot of people didn't like that. And I thought it was kind of unfair, and it makes you feel like, oh, I'm not a part of Carmax, or they don't give a damn about me because y'all want me to work all these hours, or y'all want me to just work when all the departments around us are closed, y'all. Like, they shut down completely. They don't even care about the calls coming in. And this is like collections, that's collecting money, customer service. And if they don't care about that, but y'all care about sales so much that y'all make us stay in here. Like, and it just makes you feel bad. Like, when you come into work and everybody downstairs, you come in, you like, oh, I can only spend an hour outside. And people would bring like their family from different departments and all this, man. So in my job, at the job, we had like multiple stores. I'm going to say probably about 15 stores. And we had 15 stores, and it was like horrible. Because I told y'all the systems were bad. So you had to log into each store. Literally. You had to log in each store. Like, you know how you log on Yahoo? Imagine having to log on Yahoo, like, or your Gmail email, like 18 times. Like, to get into each one. So that's what we had to do, basically, because the systems didn't correspond with one another. So you couldn't log in one time and be in everything. You had to log into each store. Also, I forgot to mention that we did training, and training was absolutely horrible. I hated training so much. It was one of the most stressful trainings I've ever been in because they try to like test you, and I felt like I'm not the type of person I can't think of the word right now, but I can't learn from a book. I have to actually do the task in order to know how to do it. So they had us like reading all this stuff. Let me show you this binder. We printed out all this shit, and then we had to go in this big binder. Mind you, the binder normally is this big. I stopped filling mine up, but it's normally like this thick. And then you'll never look at this binder again ever in life. I'm not focused. You'll never look at this binder ever again in life. And we had to like print out stuff every day. You got to go over everything, like greeting, call, this, that. If you've been in a call center environment before, you already know basically the gist of how a call goes. It just depends on, you have to tweak it based off of what they want you to say. But y'all, that training was horrible. I was so happy to get out of training. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, I was like, what the hell is this? It was stressing me out so bad. When I got on the actual phone, I still didn't know what the hell to say. Like, the flow just came out of nowhere. When I was at State Farm, I had never worked at a call center before, and I feel like they prepped me so well, to the point where I got on the phone, I knew what to say. I was on the phone there like, okay, I don't even know what the hell, how this call is supposed to go. I don't understand the flow. I don't understand none of this, but I'm just going to wing it until I get it, and I eventually got it on my own. So I think everybody just varies. You do have a mentor in training as well. My mentor is really cool. So I don't know, that shit just was horrible. It was horrible. Alright, so back to the cons. I just had to mention that because I didn't mention training, and I was like, let me mention this. Alright, so they keep opening stores. So I told y'all we was at like 18 stores or something like that. And they keep opening stores. System's bad, they still opening stores. Not paying us more money, they still opening stores. More stores mean more calls. More calls mean more work. And it was just getting out of hand. So they ended up splitting us into 2 teams, and we had separate stores. But some people still were in all the stores, and then they steady were opening up stores, so the number was still growing so fast. Like, they're still opening stores. If you go on Carmax.com right now, it says now hiring, and all these new stores, and they still haven't even mastered it being a good place in that department. It says a lot about a company when they continuously keep growing, but the foundation is not good. And it's like they're money hungry. That's what I feel like about Carmax. Like, I feel like Carmax is really a money hungry ass company, because y'all have us in this department. Our systems are horrible. We are not happy. It's not a team environment, and you're steadily opening stores, not caring about the workload, not hiring more people. It was horrible there, y'all. It was horrible. I did not like it at all. Our training was 2 weeks. It was supposed to be 1 month. I asked him this in the actual interview, like, how long is training? He said a month. They narrowed it down to 2 weeks because they wanted us to get on the phone so fast. So imagine narrowing down 1 month of content to 2 weeks. It was so much. That's why I just told y'all. It was just too much. It was too much. Like, I think Carmax was like literally the worst training I've ever had at any job. It was the worst job I've ever had in my life. Like, in my whole life. So I put that they pick and choose who's of importance. So when I say that, I mean, okay, so they'll open up a new position. So they had like a lead position. It's called the senior rep position. They opened up that position and they only tell the people who they want to apply. So they don't open it up and be like, okay, we have a new position, guys, and we want you all to apply. No, ma'am. It didn't work like that. They would, so they want me to apply. They tell me. They tell the person to sit next to me if they want them to apply. But they don't tell the whole team. I literally saw this guy that sat across from me. He came back from out of town and he thought he could still apply to the position. So he calls my department manager over there and he's like, yeah, something's going on. I can't apply to this position. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You can no longer apply. We already did the interviews. We did this, and that. And I'm so sorry. I wish you could still apply. And he was like, well, no one ever told me that you all did the interviews or the position was open. And I could tell the guy was really, really upset. But he kind of hit it well. He was like, well, that's okay. That's okay. Mind you, this guy has been there like 6-7 years. And he wants to move up in the company. They won't allow him to move up. It was just bad. Like, I don't like to see people treated like that. Like, even if you want to move up in the company, I feel like it should be a fair chance. So our department manager even would tell people who he wanted to get the position. They would tell them about the position. And then they would prep those people in private. Well, to an extent in private. We knew because we just knew the people. And then he brought in someone from a different store to interview them to make it look like, oh, okay, I'm not being biased. But he really is being biased because he already knows who he's going to choose. You know, so it was just sneaky stuff like that going on, and I didn't like it. I feel like when a new position opens up, it should be a fair chance. And CAF, when you look at CAF, when they open a position, it's a fair chance for people to apply. Anybody can apply, but in our department, it's whoever they want to apply. The thing would have to be, we had to work on Sundays. I hate working on Sundays, and I hate working on Sundays, me myself personally, just in general. But it really used to irritate me because we wouldn't get calls on Sundays, really. Like, people were not calling us. It was slow as hell. And they were so money hungry. They just wanted to be there for that one call that we would get. And they wanted us to work leads as well. Oh, I forgot to mention. So, we also had to make outbound phone calls as well. So, you get leads that come in. And you have to call those people and see what they need and all this and all that. So, that was also a part of the job. So, that's why I say that this job was a lot of work. That's another kind. It was a lot of work. If you add up all the things I told y'all about the description of the job, you're answering phone calls, you're making outbound phone calls to leads, you're working with multiple stores, you're transferring calls to the store, you're transferring calls to your colleagues. It was a lot of work and it was very overwhelming. It was a lot, just a lot. I feel like that job, you should be getting paid like $20 an hour. You have to be, like, seriously. Another kind would be, it was not a team environment. So I feel like Carmax was not a team environment. They tried to make it a team environment, but people morale was just so low, and then nobody really wanted to be there. People complained all day. I didn't like the vibe there. It was just bad. It was just something that you have to see. Like, I used to walk in like, oh my God, like, I'm really want to just kill myself. I could be having a good day, and then when I go in there, I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to, oh my God. That's why I just couldn't do it. Next kind would be the sales incentive. I told you all we were in a sales environment. If you've been in a sales environment before, you know that you get a commission when you're in a sales environment. So at first we were getting commission based off of quality. Quality is the quality of the call. How you do on the call, if you say what you're supposed to say. Which was fine with me because I was hitting it. I was getting like $900, if I got like $400, I was good. $400, $300, whatever. And that's when I first came. Then they changed the sales incentive up. So they changed it to where it was based off of sales per hour. So they would calculate sales per hour based off of how many people you talked to. And that actually went like how many hours you worked based on how many people you talked to and got them to go into the store to buy a car. So they had to go into the store and actually buy the car for it to count towards something. And I feel like it was so unfair because it was like rewind back to all the times I told y'all all the calls we were getting. So all those will take that into consideration when you're trying to get your numbers up to hit the incentive. If I'm getting all these calls and making all these outbound calls and doing all this and doing all that, then how am I supposed to get people to go into the store? It never made sense to me. And when they changed the new sales incentive, I just stopped trying. I was like, just give me my base pay. That's all I'm here for. I don't want the incentive. And it would be the same people getting the incentive, getting $1,000 on top of their check. And if you could kind of finesse the system and work it, you can get $1,000 on top of your check. But it just wasn't worth it for me. It was like too much work to get the $1,000. I was just like, no. So I would have to say that is definitely a con. It's a con for me. I didn't like it. It was just horrible. And the base pay wasn't enough really to pay all your bills. Okay, so also in this job, my department manager would like kind of retaliate against you if you wanted to move to a new department. So this guy, he moved to a new department and they gave him the cold shoulder, didn't want to talk to him, didn't say anything to him. Like after he told them like, oh, I'm moving, I got a new position. This other guy I know, he applied for a position, he interviewed for the position, and then the department manager tried to tell the other department that he said that he wanted to move up in our department. So it would be little sneaky shit like that. Or if you say this one girl, she tried to go to part-time and he was like, well, she tried to leave to go to another department because she wanted better hours because she had a lot going on in life. And he told her, well, we need you. We can't let you go to another department, but we can knock you down to part-time. So stuff like that. Like, if I want to go to another department, I should be able to go to another department. It doesn't matter about you need me or not. Hire more people. But they will really take it offensive if you want to go to another department or try something else. And they try to make it seem like, oh, you can go anywhere from here. You can move to different departments. You can do this and that. But that wasn't the case in our department. Like, they would really make you feel bad or give you the cold shoulder, not talk to you, or try to sabotage you moving. And that shit was just bad. That was bad, y'all. For real. Now that I'm just saying it verbally, it's really bad. That's bad. Alright. Okay. When you quit the job, I put my 2 weeks in. So this happened in 2 instances. So one of my friends, my friend Trakia, she quit. She put her 2 weeks in. And she went to State Farm actually. So she put her 2 weeks in. The last day she was supposed to be there was a Saturday. So in this job, we had to work every other Saturday, and we had to work every one Sunday out the month. So, and it was mandatory. So she missed her last Saturday because it was her baby's birthday. So they sent her a letter and said that she got fired. They did the same thing to me. I put my 2 weeks in, but I ended up not coming back the second week. They sent me a letter and said I got fired, termination, this and that. So that's what they do. So the department manager tries to make it so that you can never come back to the company, or you can never try again, or I don't know if it's in his mind he really thinks that he's messing you up, or maybe he thinks he's messing you up just in your career in general, but that's what he does. So if you put your 2 weeks in, I don't know if she worked her whole 2 weeks out to me, she just didn't come the last day, but they're still going to say that you got terminated, and this is in my position. And it kind of pissed me off at first because it's kind of like, man, stop playing with me. Like, just stop playing with me. I don't like stuff like that. But it just is what it is. Like, I moved on from that. It just is what it is. Kind for me would also have to be that the hours fluctuated. So we were open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you can get scheduled anytime between those hours. So you will have 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 10 to 7, 11 to 8, 12 to 9. So those were the shifts. You can even work 12 to 9 on Fridays. You could work 12 to 9 on Saturdays as well. It was like a rotation, and I hated that. Like, I hated working 12 to 9 on Saturdays. I hated working 12 to 9 on Fridays. It was just, I hated it so much. I hated it so much. I quit Carmax because all that stuff I told y'all, did y'all hear all the cons I had? I never don't have that many cons, but Carmax was like a toxic environment. I did not like it there. I felt like it was a lot of like sneaky stuff going on, and them trying to move my seat was the straw that broke the camel's back. If you want to check that video out, I will put it down below. I did a vlog on why I had to quit. It was like the last thing, like the last straw for me. It was just so much going on there, and I was just like, I can't handle this. It's just too much. This job was just too much. Carmax was the worst job I've ever had in my life. I would not suggest it unless you're going to work like actual Carmax auto finance. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. So, our department didn't really have a budget, so they say, but I think it was just our department manager trying to be cheap. So it was a lot of events, like, you know how they try to boost morale at a job, like we had fried chicken one day, we had this one day, we had food. That's how it was at State Farm. At this job, they'll be like, oh, we don't have money for it. Oh, we don't have money for that. But even when we try to do team building stuff, they be like, oh, we don't have money for that. Oh, we don't have money. Or they go the cheapest route and get the cheapest thing. So then in return, that makes sure employees feel like, what? They make sure employees feel like, oh, you don't care about me, or you don't care like how I feel. And I just feel like Carmax was really money hungry, and they want to open more stores. They want to have this little new department, but they weren't willing to build it correctly. And I had to get out of that environment. It comes to a time when you're like, okay, I need to find what I really like to do and go with that, because this is not working. I got tired of waking up in the morning, going to that job. I got tired of being there. It was just horrible, and I'm so happy that I quit. Alright, so if you still want to apply to this position or work at Carmax, I suggest that you go there and stay underneath the radar and just do your job, do a good job at your job. If you're the type of person that does the good in corporate America, it may be good for you, but just know it will be frustrating. So that is my tip just in general. At any job, stay underneath the radar. I'm always that person that stands out just because of how my personality is. But if you can stay underneath the radar and use this as a stepping stone to get to another position, then that's totally fine as well. So this is my Carmax review. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, want to know anything else, comment down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. I love you all so much. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye guys.
Love yours.